Hi all, it's Ingrid and I'm doing my first December daily here, and I've been looking at doing December dailies for a few years now, but it always seems daunting and I overthink it and buy too many supplies. I have supplies from years ago that I've bought to do a December daily and never did it. So the way that I went about it a little different this year is I went through all of my paper stash, which is kind of extensive, and I pulled out any papers, any embellishments, anything that I thought would kind of tie in with Christmas, and I put them in an iris bin. And so that's what I did here. The yellow diagonal paper that you see there it's some old paper that I've had for lots of years. And I made using scrap paper, I made a template for the album that I'm using, which is a Heidi Swapp album that I found at Tuesday Morning that I seem to like. I got a Simple Stories one, but I decided to go with the Heidi Swapp. There I'm taking the Heidi Swapp Color Shine in teal, and I just splattered it on the back of the page because I'm going to be using some blue scrapbook paper, and so I wanted to tie in the blue. I also did a swatch where I took a acrylic block for my stamping, and I sprayed the color shine on that and tried to do bigger blotches, but it just kind of overpowered the page, and so I went with this instead. Back to the papers, I went through my stash this morning and I just picked out stuff that was aesthetically pleasing to me. So I knew I was using the yellow for the background, and I found this blue cloud paper that I liked, and then the black and white and the black and cold, and I just decided that no matter what, I was going to stay with it. Usually I would second guess, and then even though I pick something out, go and find something else, and that's really what makes my scrapbooking more tedious. And then in this case I decided to not change it, and since I was on video, it kept me accountable for that. And so the hardest part for me there, as you could see, was just trying to figure out where to put the paper and what order. I used a white doily on the background, and you're going to see in a minute that after I put the glue on, I realized that there's actually two stuck on there, and so I have to remove it. And I moved it from the video, but I actually end up tearing the bottom one, and then that one, the top one, just a little bit, but you can't really tell. But it's all okay, and it ended up working out well. I pulled out some other stuff that you can see there. There's some Heidi Swapp printables, cupcake liner, some other embellishments that I ended up not using, but I did not veer from what I had picked out, and everything that was on the page was stuff that I had picked out. And so I felt like that really helped me this year to get it going, and that's what is going to be my goal. I'm not going to match page for page, color match, or that whole album has a distinctive theme. Instead, I'm going more eclectic and just going with what is aesthetically pleasing to me, and that each page, it's its own page and just makes me happy. And in this case, I have sped up the video here, but the whole thing took me under an hour to do, including journaling and everything. And so I felt like that was a lot more feasible than what I had done in the past. The little embellishment that you see there is a part of the Heidi Swapp Christmas paper pad that she had a few years back, which I love. And I just found another one at AC Moore this year, and so I decided to use that, and I just cut it out and going to use that as an embellishment. What I'm actually scrapbooking here is something that, or documenting, is something that happened before December, and it was my husband had cervical, which is neck, surgery, and so I was just documenting here that I thought it was an important part of this year for us. It was a big deal, and we had to travel to go get it done, and so anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. And so when I put this cupcake liner in the back, I realized that it just took away from the picture, and really all you focus on is the shininess of it. So I decided not to use it, and I'm just going to glue my picture down to the layering that I did in the back. And as you can see, I really didn't put that much into it, or double think how it goes. And I'm playing with that little hope, which is a silhouette cutout that I made. Also, the deer that I'm using there is actually a stamp that I heat embossed, and I did that off camera because my heat tool is on the other side of my room. and it was just a stamp. I heat embossed it and then cut it out. Also there you saw that I added some extra Heidi Swapp color shine just to show the blue a little more on the page. And now I start to glue it down, and then I realize that I want it distressed on the edges just to kind of make it stick up a little bit, which I liked. And usually I do that more edging or, distressing the edges or stuff, but I wanted to really keep this one simple, but I decided to add it on that piece, which was, small and easy. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to glue down the deer on top, and I'm using the Scotch Quick Dry Glue, which I seem to like, but I put it in one of those Tightline bottles, and I have a lot of problem with it. I actually moved most of that off of the screen because it takes me a long time to squeeze it out of there. I even store it upside down, but anyway, so I might get a different one and try it out and see if that will help. Then I'm looking through my stash, and I find a Christmas tree that I actually got at Michael's, not in the scrapbook section, but in the Christmas section. And I know I'm going to color shine it, and at this point I'm thinking I'm going to do green, which is, your traditional Christmas tree, but I decided to use the Heidi Swapp color shine in tinsel, and I love the way that it came out because it gives it a little bit of a shine, but it's not overpowering. And I like that the black goes with the papers and then also the contrast with the yellow paper. The Heidi Swapp color shine is great because it dries very quickly, which is very important to me because I end up smudging. And I'm looking on the page to see what side I want, and I feel like it anchors well on that side next to the doily. It has a pop dot on the top, and I left it like that for now, but I'll probably end up gluing it down a little bit more securely so it doesn't pop off. These rhinestones that I'm using, I believe I got at Dollar Tree, and so I'm just going to add a cluster of 3 right next to the Christmas tree just to give it a little bit of extra shine. And then in a little bit you're going to see I'm going to try to add some sequins on the bottom, and I end up not adding them because I feel like the 3 rhinestones up top and the 3 sequins on the bottom, it just doesn't go, and so I end up not using it. But then I took a piece of scrap paper and a journaling stamp using my Ranger ink, and I just stamped a little journaling spot. And because I was on camera, I ended up not journaling what I normally would have, and I really didn't say that much, just that I was thankful and what had happened, and that he's doing well now, but normally I would have said a lot more and I might add it later maybe to the back of it, because it was a big deal for us. And I'm just attaching it there using my tiny attacher, and that's those sequins that I was talking about that I end up not using. The page is almost done. I decided that the only thing I'm going to add now, I believe, is that hope that I cut out with my silhouette, and I just glue it down, and I feel like that anchors the page on the left. And that's it. I hope you like it.